Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Killer Cuts. This one, a very different edition because we're going to be having a trailer reaction. I'm Bobby Munson, and beside me, it's Astrid Pizarro. How are you doing, Astrid?
Pretty good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. And of course, we love our slasher films here on Killer Cuts. We talk about them all the time. And here today, we're ready for a trailer reaction to The Strangers Chapter 2. We did get the opportunity to review the previous installment. So now we're going to have a look at this one. Well, that's coming up here in just a moment. Here's your intro. We'll see you in a few. I'll never get over just how creepy that mask actually is. The Strangers Chapter 2 is on its way to theaters very soon, part of an original planned trilogy. I don't know if I've read or not. Is it still going forward as 3 parts, or did the reshoots lead to this being the final of the 2 kind of thing after the not so great box office return on the first one?
From what I saw, it was still the trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, that's something we'll have to discover, find out. But again, I mean, you and I were favorable on the first chapter compared to some of the critics out there. We didn't loathe it as much as some people did. It was again, there was things that you could pick apart that could have been better about it and stuff like that. But we're hoping that this time around, again, maybe that was just the foundation block building of something even more interesting. So here we are. The trailer just dropped. I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or well, from the time of the recording, yesterday was when the trailer dropped for The Strangers Chapter 2. And we're going to take a moment here to enjoy it along with all of you. So here we go. Strangers Chapter 2. Let's see what this is all about. And if at any point you want me to pause this, Astrid, as we go on along to talk about anything, just let me know. Okay, first and foremost, whoever put that trailer together, because like my interest has peaked so much more just from what I've seen in that short little bit. Like after the first one, a lot of people probably given up, and I hope they don't, because this looks awesome. Like your thoughts, Astrid? I like what I saw.
Me too. I feel like there's so many parts. The only thing I wish I would have done is when she's in the car with them, and you can see all of them in the car surrounding her. When they flashed to the guy with the neck tag too, I would have liked it if they went back and showed everybody for once, and then showed them with the mask on for like a flip second, and then went back to their normal like selves, if that makes sense. I feel like that would have been cool to see, like that visual of like them being normal versus them with the mask on. But I feel like this one of the parts that I found very interesting is that when they're in the diner talking about her, that she survived, you can see how everybody else is kind of like in on it, which is something that we thought about in the first one, and we wonder if they were in it or not, based on the beginning when we see the poster that there's a couple missing when the movie starts. So seeing that already gives us the answer of like, yeah, the town really knows what's going on in some way, shape, or form. We just don't know to what extent. Also the scene at the hospital, just thinking about the fact that they have such a big advantage over her, because if it's their town, they're gonna know what the hospital looks like, and she doesn't. So them taking over the whole hospital is just terrifying in that aspect, thinking like she doesn't know where to go versus they know the ins and outs of this hospital. So as terrifying as it is,
Well, yeah,
I don't know. I keep thinking about that in my mind.
well, and being able to have the access to shut down the hospital, to lock down the hospital. And again, I work in the security sector, and the fact that she can't get out the exit door and stuff, and people just think about, okay, like someone's gone and locked and stuff. There's actually systems in place where it's like, especially in hospitals, schools, and stuff like that, called an emergency lockdown. And all it requires is a one button press, and all exterior doors, or any door that is on that security system, will automatically go into full lockdown mode. And it's very possible that, again, with the strangers being linked in with the town, being able to have that kind of access, you would have the access of being able to do emergency lockdowns and isolating this girl and stuff like that. I think this looks cool because it takes it in a totally different direction. It does play on those things, like you said, we talked about with the town's involvement, and more of like, how many of the town's involvement, who all knows about it, is there a why? Like, again, they give that line, does there have to be a why Do they just do it because this is a fun ritual, or is there more depth to the strangers that we're going to find out in chapter 2? Either way, take my money, because I'm sold based on that trailer. I'm back 100% all in on strangers.
I think another scene that I really like too here is when they're all in the car with her too. It reminded me a little bit of Last House on the Left, and in that particular scene too. So I feel like that in the hospital reminded me a lot of Scream 5 and 6. So thinking about that in my mind I just went back to that visually. Um, but yeah, just thinking about the fact that there's only one of her and what so many of them, because if the people in the diner are involved too, there's a few more people than you think it is, than just the regular people that you see in the car. So that's pretty interesting as well. How she gonna get away from all this in the end? But I like the knowing that there's so many people involved in here, because it just makes you think of how were they involved, and just like you said, thinking about the town itself. Are they just doing it because somebody picked to basically have a vacation where they're in their town and they don't want outsiders to be there or something along those lines? Because we never know, because they're not going to be the first couple that this happened to. Maybe the last one, but not the first one. That's for sure. We've seen a couple of them beforehand. So yeah, I feel like it's very interesting moving forward. Look, and I really want to watch it already.
Me too. Me too. Can't come out soon enough, even though we have a entire smorgasbord of great horror coming your way, and so much more that we're going to be bringing you here on Killer Cuts. I know this one's going to be a little bit shorter than our regular ones. Again, that's going to be an opportunity for us to maybe add this one to TikTok this time around too. So hopefully we can thrill the TikTokians as well as you YouTubers as well this time. But Astrid, why don't you let the wonderful people know where outside of Killer Cuts they can find you?
You can find me regularly on Tuesdays on Taking Over with OLED, talking all about NXT, and usually when there's a pay-per-view weekend coming up as well, like the Great American Bash, you see us doing coverage for that as well. Other than that, you can find me Twitter, Blue Skies, Astrid Pizarro, and my Instagram and Threads is Astrid Pizarro 20.
Wonderful. And for myself, Bobby Munson, there's my credentials down below. Thursday nights with Papa Smokes, I do Ring Respect Radio here, POV, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Sundays. You can also catch my video series, 30 Years Later, Does It Still Rock, which comes out every Sunday afternoon, where I go back and listen to music that I was brought up on in 1995. 30 years later, does it still rock? Find out every Sunday with myself. And you can find all that great content here on OLE Podcast. There are credentials down below. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube to like or to subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and always be checking for great new content here on the channel. Well, that's going to be for it for this chapter of Killer Cuts. Strangers Chapter 2 coming soon. We'll see you soon. Take care.